Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. And if you've traveled along with me for any length of time, you know by now that here where we talk about comic books, it's not everything's about regular comic books. They're not just your standard mainstream everyday comic book superhero and even regular comic book type stuff. This time, I want to talk about comic strip, newspaper comic strip. Yep, I touch on those every once in a while. They're still in the same medium, and this time it's Andy Capp. And you may say, who the hell is Andy Capp? Well, Andy Capp, it is a British humor comic strip created by Reg Smythe. And it's from the Daily and Sunday Mirror papers since 1957. And it started as a single panel feature, but was later expanded to a four-panel strip. It was also distributed in the U.S. by several syndicates at various times, as well as distributed around the world. And he has been licensed, used as a mascot for snack foods. Hey, yeah, right here. Right here. Right here. Andy Capp's Hot Fries. And there's Andy Capp himself right there. And I'd never seen or heard of these until recently when going on a road trip, and my sister got some of this for snacks. And I'd never seen or heard of it before. But I saved it just for this. But yeah, Andy Capp is used. And Andy is a working class fellow who is too lazy to work, as well as a heavy drinker and gambler. And he frequently bickers with his wife, Flo, as well as fighting in pubs and in the streets. It's both with his friends and his wife, as well as strangers. His name, Andy Capp, is derived from the term handicap, as associated in sports and gambling. And he's a working class English fellow, and he has a tendency to drop a lot of H's. So Andy Capp sounds like handicap. You get it? After Smythe's death, the strip continued under Roger, is that Fatisse? Roger Fatisse and Roger Mahoney. And that's Andy Capp. And it was the creator, Reg Smythe. It was Reginald Smythe from 1917 to 1998. He's a British cartoonist. And after serving in the Army in World War II, he worked as a phone clerk for the General Post Office. But he got married and started doing theatrical posters on the side. And after getting an agent, he became a professional cartoonist, selling gag cartoons to various magazines. And after having recurring strips for specific magazines, that was in that case it was regarding auto racing, he created Andy Capp for the Daily Mirror, and he did that strip for 40 years until he died. So that was a pretty good run for him. And from what I understand, yeah, it's still in production, although I haven't seen it in a while. I used to read the strip in the local daily newspaper, either the Denver Post or the Rocky Mountain News. I can't remember which had it back then. This was back in the 60s and 70s. And then, of course, it was reprinted in dozens of compilation books over the decades. And of course, this goes back to the time when the popular comic strips were printed in the regular paperback format and done cheaply, and as opposed to now when nothing is ever printed in this format anymore. They're always the oversized, or usually oversized trade paperbacks, and they cost a lot more too. But I always enjoyed it, and so if you're sitting out there and says, "But what's funny about Andy Capp? I don't get it." Okay, we'll show you some. These are the only 4 books that I happen to have. Here you go. Andy Capp, Man of the Hour. Have you got one that says Buzz Off? When his wife's trying to buy welcome mats. He's just much. Here's his wife running around out in the rain. Can I come in yet? Give her another 5 minutes. And she's running on some more. I'm breaking in his new boots for him. Ooh. There's that coming out of the blood bank. And there's somebody getting the blood that he just donated. He's drunk already just from Andy's blood. And here he is in a pub. If you don't stop looking at me, I'll come over there and thump the pair of ya. There's the guy. He's looking at the pair of them because he's seeing double. Flo, there's his wife. Poor Flo. She's always working, and he's just lacing about. There he is, Flo. She goes, "Oh my gosh, he has to come over. Sometimes I can't believe it myself." He has to flip the page for him. Now you see here, I'm going to talk a little bit about his artwork. Is consistent. They're not always necessarily guffaw funny, but they are funny, and it's usually just for. Sometimes the characters get extreme. The extreme stereotypes of certain characters, but the artwork is very consistent and consistently funny. It's a nice, clean line work, good solid blacks interspersed with some gray tone. That was probably done in production, and the proportions are always consistent. The characters, they always look the same from panel to panel, easily identifiable, and it's very easy to read. I'd like to go with you, Ruby, but it means Andy would have to make his own tea. Okay, ask him. Blimey, there's no harm in asking. He won't kill her. Wham, bam. I don't know though. And they get into the scraps and scrapes. Ow, me ankle. This is on the soccer field. It's all right, Freddy. Andy's here. Lie still, kid. Yeah, I'll soon have you fixed up. It's amazing what you can do with a 4-inch bandage. And that's just Andy Capp, Man of the Hour. These are all from the 60s, early 60s. Take a bow, Andy Capp. This is from these are from Signet Gold Medal, and this other one from the 70s. This is a more recent one. These are from Fawcett Gold Medal. It was all the same publisher, but there's signature changed. Take a bow, Andy Capp. He doesn't mind a bad loser. It's the winners that get him down. And there she is laying down on. Yeah. They're standing, Andy and his wife Flo are standing next to each other, drinking at the pub. Puts his arm around on her shoulder and down on her waist, and it creeps down a little bit. They look at each other kind of funny, and then they're back to where they remembered stuff. What you been spending money on this time? She comes back home. Look, mate, it's my job to figure out where it's going to. It's your job to figure out where and it's your job to figure out where it's coming from. It's my job to figure out where it's going to. I read it wrong. See, and then here's just in silhouette. Sitting on the stoop, here comes Bobby. Hello. What you sitting there for? I can't get in. I forgot my key. Have you knocked? Of course I have. About half an hour ago. But she didn't hear me. You didn't knock again? Why should I? Let her wait. I think I'll write a book. No, they'd never believe me. And that was from a Sunday strip. It's the whole thing, except for one brief moment there with the flashlight on him, was told in silhouette because it's dark at night. And one of the here, it's not all necessary just guffaw funny. This one was downright funny. Here's Andy at the pub, thinking to himself, "What are you doing, mate? Waiting there for a bird half your age." He starts to walk out. "Grow up, lad. You've got a lovely missus." And then there he is walking home. Gets inside, and there's Flo saying, "You've always got a good excuse coming home late. Let's see you come up with a good excuse for coming home early." Now, that was downright funny. Might have been my delivery, but when I read that, I just laughed. "Cut that out! I'm a married woman." "Are you?" "You are? Oh, I've never seen you with your husband. Walk past our house any night about 9. You'll always see us together. Me coming in, him going out." "Want your back scrubbed, pet?" So they always have the little pet names. Let's call each other pet. "No, thanks, kid. It's already clean." "Where's your cricket bat?" "Under the stairs." "Right, lad, let's have your name." Because she didn't believe him. And that's Rise and Shine, Andy Capp. And then there's Very Sneaky Andy Capp. "Sorry, pet," and he accidentally splots her in the face with the ketchup. And these available at secondhand bookstores. They're for $1 a piece. I got these at the Black and Red secondhand bookstore, clear in the back where they keep these things. Occupation? Housewife. This is a national assistance. How long? 50 years. How do you make that out? You're only in your 40s. Overtime. Come on, open this flippin' door. I wish you'd stop making such a row. When you come in, oh, is that so? And why should I? Well, for a start, you're making nervous wrecks of your pigeons. Eek! Oh, dear. Do you think so, dear? Because he keeps pigeons and he flies. Races pigeons, and that gets him. And that's the only activities he's got. Like he raises pigeons, goes out and races the pigeons, and he plays soccer for a little local team. Another bunch of his. He's never working. He works hard to get out of work. So, but there are a lot of fun. As the whole point of the comic strip is just a little bit of fun. So that's what I've got this time with Andy Capp. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Do you like comic strips as well as comic books? Have you ever heard of Andy Capp before or read him? because I don't know if it's still distributed in this country or not, but it's still in production in England. So that's it. And remember, even when it's Andy Capp, comics are art.